Sports fans, it's your man D back. Speak your mind sports talk. Check it out. Maia, Askren. This is a classic fight, guys. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. All right, look. Um, Damian Maia, Ben Askren. See, like, here's the thing with these two guys. We know that Maia's a little older, and of course, he's taking more losses. But you have to look at the people that Damian Maia lost to. He lost to Anderson Silva, Kobe Covington, Tyron Woodley, Usman. This guy has lost well. If you're gonna lose, you got to lose well. And I seen that fight with Tyron Woodley, and Tyron Woodley was basically on a treadmill, just making sure that Damian Maia didn't get a hold of him. See, that's the danger with Damian Maia. You can't let him get a hold of you unless maybe you're a great wrestler like Ben Askren. And see, that's when you get in the chess match down there on the ground because wrestlers can control position just as well as an expert grappler. I mean, they're both trained to control the ground position. And so this is what makes this fight so classic because it's grappler versus wrestler. The thing is, if they were closer in age, it would be a lot better. But Damian Maia is so dangerous and such an expert that you know, it doesn't matter. It's like old Royce Gracie. And this guy, he used to fight anybody. Back then, this is old school UFC. When there weren't any weight classes, Gracie would fight anyone, literally anyone. He fought this big, huge. I think they call him the eighth wonder of the world. Some big, huge black guy, and he beat him. It's 176 pounds in the fight. This guy had to be like 350 or something like that. Huge, but he beat him. And so, that's what Maia, and not on that level, because Royce is probably one of the greatest ever, but uh he just reminds me of an old guy that's still tough like that can still battle because Royce was like that old and would beat him up. But he was way ahead of the game back then. Sort of like Bill Russell back with the old Celtics. Royce was way ahead of the game, right? He was like, doing some of the um submission holds that these guys do today. And those guys knew nothing about how to defend it or anything back then. So he was ahead of the game. But he was still masterful because the weight classes didn't matter back then, and he would just fight anybody. It didn't matter how hard you punched, it didn't matter how fast you were, how much muscles you had, he would. And Damian Maia reminds me of that type of fighter. He's older, but he's still dangerous, extremely dangerous because he's so well rounded with his technique on the ground. And what makes him so dangerous is that he can submit you in so many ways from so many positions. So even with wrestlers, you got to be careful with Damian Maia because again, he can submit you in so many ways from so many different positions, and that's where it gets tricky with him. Now, when you look at Askren, I mean, like I said, he's an expert wrestler. And that ground control, and I mean, he's an expert wrestler. I think his collegiate record was like 153-8, something like that. So, I mean, he knows how to control that ground, and he's punishing too. If he gets you from behind, he has some pretty good blows. I mean, both of these guys have stoppages. Um, Maia's not really a power puncher. Maia's he's gonna have to submit. I believe he's gonna have to submit Askren, which is, still something Maia can do. That's for sure. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna have to do that. And it's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, Me personally, I would lean toward Askren a little bit, but not for me to decide. It's for you guys to decide. Who do you guys believe will take this fight? Damian Maia, Ben Askren, you know? Um, when Maya fought Tyron Woodley, that fight, I mean, Tyron Woodley, you could see in that fight that he wasn't afraid of the physical, but you could see in that fight that he really didn't want Maya to get a hold of him. And there's a reason for that, guys. It's a reason for that. I mean, this guy can get you anything: armbar, D-bar, ankle lock, rear naked choke, guillotine, Kimura, whatever, reverse choke. Maya can do it all, bro. And so when you have somebody, and he can do a lot of that from different positions as well, and that's where it's really tricky because a lot of people can't operate from bottom position. They have to have control. Maya can operate from bottom position, and it's really messed up for someone to get a lock on you and you have top control. I mean, but Maya's that kind of guy that can get that done. So, but again, Askren is a bruiser, and he's an expert wrestler, and so some people too think about the fact that he caught this quick knockout by Masvidal, and the thing is with that is that could go either way, you know, because it was such a quick knockout. It may not have affected him so much because it was so quick. And he didn't really take a beating or a punishment that whole fight. It just happened, boom, over. Okay, I lost the fight. Got caught with a knee, whatever. Now, if that's the mentality he has, then he's been pretty much the same Ben Askren, which is a dangerous fight for Damian Maia. I mean, it's a dangerous fight either way, but if it's just Ben Askren. Now, if he's affected somehow by getting knocked out, because sometimes fighters mentally, they change after that happens. If he's affected by that, you know, maybe it favors Damian Maia, you know, maybe because his mental might not be all the way there. But we have to see when they step inside that octagon. So I don't know if you guys are watching the fight. But I'm watching the fight. Listen, I watch so many fights, MMA and boxing. My wife loves MMA and boxing, and she never watched it before. So Maya, Askren, 150 words or less. Leave it in the comment section on the playback. Or you can send an audio recording to Speak Your Mind Sports Talk at gmail.com. Maya Askren. Who's going to take it? For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.